Check it out, guys. We found our very own toddlers. We're gonna see how they do with our new railing. Oh, she's going right for it. What do you think of that? What do you think? Is that pretty cool? Mm-hmm. You want me to hold you again? Mm-hmm. Oh, she's going for two at once. Two at once. Oh, no, no. Back to one, back to one. You trying to eat it? Does it taste good?
Yep.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments about the toddlers gang. That's about as intense as it gets. And you can see little brother saying, Sissy, that's not safe. Get down. Are you going to try it? Oh, there he goes. Look at that. A little nervous laugh. All right, cool, guys. Thanks for being part of our demonstration. Nice. Can you do up, down low? No, okay. Hey gang, it's Paul with Stud Pack. Welcome back to our channel. It is really good to see you. In our last video, you saw Jordan, Rad, and me put up the railing on the back porch upstairs. Came out awesome. Yeah, we got this last section to do. It's on a truck somewhere. We're gonna install that as soon as it arrives. But in this video, we want to install our ceilings on the downstairs porch ceiling and upstairs. We're gonna use 1x6 pine tongue and groove. Jordan, Rad went to the lumberyard yesterday, picked it all up. It was $1,200. Now, cedar tongue and groove was an option, but at twice the cost. So that was an easy decision for Jordan to make. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna stain all 6 sides of every board. But we don't have anywhere to work. We need a place to stack them all. So let's get started by making some stickers. All right guys, there's all our stickers made, enough to do this little project. But we can build more if we ever need them. And there's the idea. You can see Rad's got one board in there. He's gonna completely fill this row up, add the next sticker, and we can keep going and the boards will never touch and will dry completely ready for installation tomorrow. As you can see behind me, we got him all set up to staying outside. Follow me upstairs. Let me show you what I'm gonna do in the meantime.
Yeah, but we're installing these today. You know that, right?
No, we are?
Yeah.
Oh, well then we better hurry, come on.
All right, gang, and while we're heading up the stairs, let's tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Rocket Money.
Rocket Money is a personal finance app designed to help users manage their finances more effectively. It offers features like subscription management, bill negotiation, custom budget setting, and smart savings, all aimed at achieving financial freedom and efficiency. Gang, I'm married, we have 4 kids, and there is always a new movie to watch, always a new series to watch, so we're always paying for new subscriptions, and then we never watch that channel again. Rocket Money is designed to help you recognize those subscriptions and cancel them, saving you and me a ton of money. Rocket Money is awesome at budget management. It can track your spending, it sends you an alert if you're being a little too spendy, and it can absolutely help you with your savings. A lot of people don't even have savings, but you can totally customize it, change the frequency, change the amount anytime you want. So guys, if finances are stressing you out like they used to do me, you can try it for free at rocketmoney.com/studpack. Thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to work. So the downstairs ceiling is ready to go because the joists go this way. Upstairs, the joists go the other way. So we're using simple 1x4 pine as our strapping, $5.50 each at our local lumberyard. Really cool. Why do we need it up here? Because our boards are going this way. Our tongue and groove is going this way. We don't have anywhere to nail it to, so we're gonna put strapping this way. We put this blocking up here, anticipating that we're gonna need a nailer for our strapping. Imagine this is a piece of that strapping I just showed you. We're gonna attach it here and over here, but now, because we padded these out, I don't have room for a nail. So, I'm gonna remove all these 2x4s and replace them with the 2x6 that we happen to have downstairs. To make room for our 2x6s, I gotta get rid of these 2x4s. We just use our framing nail gun early on, drove them in the top so they're really easy to remove. Let me finish this and then we're ready for our 2x6s. Today. All right, that was a little inconvenient, but it's done. Now let's put up our strapping. All right guys, got our layout done. We marked our blocking on both sides here, and the one I just put up, 16 inches on center. Our block's gonna go on the X side of our mark. We've got all our strapping up here on the porch. I've already marked this one 62.5 and 125. Let me cut these two. We're gonna put them up, show you how we're gonna do it. Then we're gonna throw you into a time lapse. Then we're gonna throw you into a time lapse. And either Jordan will be cutting and I'll be installing, or vice versa. We gotta do rock, paper, scissors for that. Just thinking one nail in the middle of each. What do you think?
Yep.
You got those next two ready for me?
That's right.
Let's go, let's go. Man, I'm doing good. Look, almost halfway done. I got this.
Nice.
Why don't you go see if Rad needs some help?
Okay.
But as you might notice, I switched to 2 nails in each. As soon as I said that in that previous clip, I was like, man, I'm gonna get torn up in the comments. So 2 is better, right? Those things won't cup on us. They're gonna lay flat, so our ceiling's gonna stay flat. So I'm just cutting 2, putting 2 up. I'll be done in like 10 minutes, bud.
Cool.
I'll see you downstairs. Have my iced tea ready. What are y'all doing?
Oh yeah, these are strong. Yeah, nice.
What are y'all doing to my strapping? I didn't build a play gym for you.
Yeah, nice.
Come on, Jordan. Keep up, Jordan. All right, I had my iced tea. All the strapping is done. If I climb up here and sight down them, this thing is dead flat. Absolutely love it. The ceiling's gonna look great. So what we did, we already did our layout. In other words, I found the center, right, between our wall and our beam, and then I determined, just like you're laying tile, and am I gonna end up with a sliver? In our case, yes. So the first board will be here, splitting the center. In other words, half of that board on each side of center, and then we have a 3 3/4 inch rip on either side. I've already got that measurement marked right here. Rad's gonna give me the end of the chalk line, and we're gonna pop a line, start putting up our porch ceilings. Here we go. It is the next morning and we are ready to cover up this ceiling. Now before we do, we got to think about electric, right? We've got a fan with possibly a light kit here, and on the other end you can see I already lowered that box. It was really easy with the design of that box. And as you can see, I've got 14.3 running to it all the way back to the switch box, which means I have 2 switch legs. Most fans come with a remote. You only need 1 hot at the fan. But I always run 14.3 just in case, or 12.3 if it's a 20 amp circuit. Over here, I added a single gang box, and that's gonna be power for the handrail LEDs. This little transformer is simply gonna plug in there and power the lights in the LEDs. So we got the fan, the light kit on the fan, the handrail LEDs, and now Jordan's thinking about motorized screens right here, really, that will come up right here. We left space for them, so that will also require 120 volts. But between the fan, the light kit on the fan, these LED lights, and the screens, probably 2 of those are gonna come with the remote. A couple of them you could use an app, so I'm not worried about having a 4th source of power out here. Rad is downstairs. He got all the pine stained yesterday, all 6 sides for this ceiling. We popped the line. Well, we popped like several lines. Let me show you what happened. So this first line gives us a rip right here so that we end up with an equal rip over there. Kind of like you're laying tile like we talked about earlier. But then I realized if this is the edge of the board that you're gonna see, I gotta count for the tongue. So we pop this line first. That represents this first board, and we'll have an equal one on the other side. Kind of like when you're laying out tile, you have equal pieces on each side. But then I realized when we put the board up there, the tongue right here is gonna cover this line. We won't be able to see it. So we popped another one, and it's the one farthest to your right. I noticed this morning it was a little crooked, so I popped the 3rd line, and that's actually the one in the middle, and I put a caret mark there to tell us that's the proper line to follow. So we're gonna have to, I'm gonna do it backwards for you. We're just gonna line up the tongue with that line. That black chalk line, I love it, but man, if it even touches the wood, right, it's gonna make a mark. I've already got my measurement. Let's head down to the saw stop table saw, rip our first piece.
First board.
All right, gang, you know us. Every cut edge gotta be sealed. All right, guys, there you go. That's our first 5 pieces on the upstairs porch. It's really, really looking cool. Now, full disclosure right here, we were gonna put a gap all the way around the perimeter, like right here, and put a little piece of molding there, painted the color of the window trim, kind of a black frame around there. But when we put up the first piece and we saw how cool it looked without the trim right up against the paint, look how nice that looks. We decided, let's just make it tight all the way around. So that is what we're doing. And then right here, you see the beginning of my access panel. We're gonna take a deep dive into this little guy later. It's gonna be bigger than this, but the key point right now, these 3 pieces right here are all cut from the same board, so the grain runs through. So this piece will be loose. You'll just lift it, toss it in here, and you have access to your electrical. So we're gonna throw you into a little time lapse, try to finish this ceiling, because it's basically measure, cut, stain, tap, nail. About 40 more times. Here we go. And there we go, everybody. 1 tongue and groove, 2nd story porch ceiling. Absolutely love the way it turned out. Looks awesome. We only have this last piece right here to cut. We already have all our measurements written down. Let's head downstairs, cut that bad boy, install it. All right, got our saw set to about a 10-degree bevel. It's gonna make it a lot easier to put the final board in there. Yeah, nice, boy. Woo. Finally!
Whoa.
Yeah, right there, dude. You're so excited, you almost fell off the ladder.
Dude, I almost jumped. I was.
You.
Oh my God, dude, these guys, dude.
Did you touch the rail? Cool.
It's really good. All right, gang, the ceiling looks absolutely great. Rad and I really love it. Jordan, he's not quite there yet. We're trying to push him to like it, but he's actually thinking he might paint it white, the same color as the siding, like a lot of you recommended. We're trying to make it grow on him, but who knows? Maybe we're gonna show up one day and he will just have painted that whole thing. But at least it's done. We can move on, because this has to be done so he can move in, and that's kind of the priority right now. Jordan and Rad were hard at work. They got the scaffolding built, and how cool is it that we can just step right off the porch? Maybe it was a good thing we cut that railing by mistake. We need the scaffolding because we want to finish this right here, the eave. We're gonna continue the tongue and groove we did here, right there, and we got our AZEK fascia to put on. So it's gonna be a little rinse and repeat, right? We gotta move these blocks, kick them out, put up our strapping, and put up the tongue and groove and the fascia. Let's get started. 70 and 9/16. Give me a board.
Board.
Board. Oh. See the pencil go over? All right, that's how we're doing the blocking on this one. The blocking for our strapping. We tried to put a 2x6 on the beam like we did on that side, but simply could not get in there, even with the right angle attachment on our driver. That's gonna work great. I got one more. Put up our little short pieces of strapping, then our 1x6s. That was a lot easier than trying to get those on top of the beams, wouldn't you guys say? All right, I'm gonna go downstairs, cut a bunch of pieces of strapping, 16 1/4. We'll tack them up with the coil gun. Here we go.
What just happened?
Oh man. All right, guys, after doing the big porch, these little ones, they're so easy. And if I just had a drone, I could like carry me up here. This would be great. All right, guys, this is one of our little things in the videos that we like to show you. We put this roof up, we framed it, what, Jordan? Who knows how many months ago. And the wood is no longer that straight. We cut all these to 16 1/4. They're tight against our beam here, and they flushed out on our sub fascia right there. But on the section behind Jordan and on this end, they're a little proud. So we're gonna use our strapping that we cut all to 16 1/4, and we're gonna let those determine the straightness of our sub fascia. In other words, if these are all the same and our beam is straight, and we use our strapping to establish our sub fascia again, then this is gonna be absolutely straight. So we're simply gonna hop on a ladder, remove the nails from the sheathing to this beam. We can get under this roof underlayment like that, push this out a little bit, push this sub fascia out towards the backyard, nail it, and then we'll reattach the sheathing. Won't take but a few minutes, definitely worth it, so that our fascia, our finished fascia, the AZEC, is perfectly straight. All right, guys, we got all those nails out between the sheathing and this board. Now this sub fascia is kind of free floating now. It wasn't too bad, was it, Jordan?
It actually only did take a couple minutes.
It did?
Yeah.
So now I'm using the screw trick to pull this board out. This is my fulcrum, my flush, looks good.
Go a little past flush.
A little pass.
Yeah.
There we go. Dead straight fascia, just like that.
Nice.
Let's finish it off. All right, guys, it is the next day. Our goal today is to finish this soffit right here, get it completely enclosed and finished. But before we close this up, I gotta figure out a way to get 120 volts basically at each column for our motorized window screens. So while this brain works on that, let me hop down and we're gonna work on this access panel over here. It's all ready to go. It shouldn't take us but a few minutes. Here's our boards. Let's head down to the table saw. First step, let's cut off this tongue right here. That looks awesome. Next step, let's go cut off the tongue upstairs. All right, let's try it out. That's gonna be perfect, because remember, this board is cut from this one, so the grain matches. Now we just gotta head downstairs, put something on the top, so this just floats there. Of course, we'll sand that, put a little stain on it. Let's finish it. All right, just made a little piece of plywood, 1/2 inch bigger, all the way around than our panel. Let's tack it on. Let's try it out. Nice. Instant access panel. Check that off the list. All right, that access panel came out so well. Let's see if maybe we can incorporate that idea into 4 access panels here to get to our wiring. But first, let's drill some holes and run a pull string to help us in the future. I'm gonna drill a hole through these rafter tails right here. 1, 2, 3, and we'll run a string from end to end. Then I'm gonna drill a hole through this block. So when we mount the motors here for the shades, I can drill up inside the beam, hopefully land right about there and wire everything once it's all encased in cedar. Let me head downstairs, grab my spider bits. All right, all our holes are drilled. Let's pull our pull string. I'm out of my electrician's line, so I'm just using this nylon cord. It'll be fine. I know I'm gonna have to go over all these pieces of strapping, but a lot easier now than later, right? How you doing, Rad?
Oh, it's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah? You're doing a great job. All right, guys, I got a few ideas. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, we full send now and cut it later, and I got a couple options for that, or we cut it now so we don't have to do all that later, and I got a couple options for that, of course.
Okay. So you got a lot of options and a lot of ideas, huh?
I do.
Okay. Can you run through them in less than 2 minutes?
Of course.
Speed round, idea round?
So if we full send now and cut it later, imagine that board is up there. Of course it is. We put a square up here. We cut here and here, and we patch it with the board later. But that means we have to pull out this board while it's engaged in 2 tongues.
Right. That sounds hard. And that sounds messy, and like we could damage the final product
We
at
could
the end of the
damage
day.
this board or this one.
Yes. And that means that we have to build this scaffolding after I moved in.
The other option is if we cut it now, we can put this board back temporarily with a couple of screws or a couple of nails, or we can do what we did down there with the access panel where it just lifts up and we have access.
So if we cut it now, we're going to have to remove the tongue and groove, so it's like a fake tongue and groove system, and then it's attached with a way that we can remove it easily. I like that.
Just like the other one.
Let's do that. Instead of the access panel, because that means we got to cut plywood, we got to lip it on here, we got to do all that. Let's just get some nice gold deck screws. Let's make our cut now. Let's screw the deck screws in there. Let's you'll never see them. It'll blend in with the knotty pine, and I think that's good to go.
Yeah, we can just use the strapping for our screws.
Yes.
All right, let's take this board down, finish the ceiling.
Cool. Nice. Perfect.
All right, there we go, guys. All we had was brown trim screws. I'll try to find some that match this more closely later and replace them. And we put 4 instead of 1 in the middle because we were thinking this would cup on us. If we just put 1 in the middle, but with 4, it should stay nice and flat. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's keep going.
Looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. But how cool does that look? Got the 3rd board up. Here's our little access panels. Love the way those came out. It's going to be great if we ever have to pull that cable for the motorized blinds. Let's go downstairs, rip our final board, get this thing done, and then we can install the fascia, finally. Let's go downstairs, boys. Last piece of decking on our upstairs ceiling.
Decking.
Ceiling decking? What are we calling this stuff? Tongue and groove ceiling?
Got some deck screws in it.
It does have some deck screws in it.
Yeah.
All right, that's all done. Our very next step is to put up the fascia. We got the AZEC sitting down there in the tall grass. It's been down there for a few months. We're gonna pull it out of there, clean it, get all the dirt off of it, put our scarf joints in, and we're actually gonna paint the back side of it and the bottom first, so we're not cutting in way up here in the air against this nicely stained pine. You guys done, Rad?
Yeah.
Man, let's head downstairs, get that AZEC going. You ready? Nice job. Let's go. Man, do I need to get the weed eater out or what? Guys, if there was ever any question about the durability of AZEC, we're testing it. We got it in the mud, in the dirt, in the rain, in the derechos, and right here in the middle of all the raccoons. Rad, let's grab, you wanna grab one? Let's grab the top 2, bud. Watch out for critters underneath.
Actually, just saw the coolest gecko.
Yeah, I'm not worried about those. Tall speed that brush, Jordan. One hand grab.
Nice hot water.
Yeah, really hot water. Oh, look at that.
Wow.
That's going up on the house.
All right, gang, our AZEC is clean, nice and dry. Now it's time to paint them. Got my little paint set up over here. I told you we had a lot of white paint left. Remember, all we're doing is the bottom edge, so we don't have to cut in, and I might as well catch this right now also. And that's gonna save us a ton of time cutting in. How would you guys like to cut in up there, staring into the sun?
Yeah.
No thanks, huh? All right, our paint's dry. Gonna put a scarf joint, just like all the rest. Sweet. Tom?
Well, like, oh my.
I'm tired just watching.
Okay.
Woo!
Higher, yep. How you like it, bud?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Interesting? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's interesting because Interesting is the word your mom uses when she doesn't like something. Interesting.
Yeah, gang, I'm just not in love with the cedar roof. I don't know what it is. I'm really trying. I just feel like it's too much cedar up there, to be honest. I feel like if the porch roof was white, the cedar would stand out more and it would just look better. I don't know. I'm trying to love it so we don't have to repaint it, but.
All right, gang, check it out. The back porch is almost 100% done. That means the exterior of the building is almost 100% done. Super excited about that. As you can see, we got the fascia up there, dead straight, perfectly level, and perfect reveal on the back side. Got 2 coats of paint on it. We even put the railing up over here on the right last night off camera. All that's left for us to do on the back of the house is obviously the first floor ceiling, right? That's easy. But we also have these little pesky corners up here on the end of the upper roof. Let's head up on the scaffold. I got a few ideas how we're gonna trim that out. Come on up, let's check it out. Remember how much time we spent tying the deck into the building and making it look clean? We wanna do the same thing up here where the roof ties into the building. We came up here early this morning, spent probably an hour with all kind of different thicknesses of wood, AZEK, hardy, different materials, trying to build this out and mock it up and decide what looks best. So I got a solution, and it's only 4 pieces of trim and we cover the whole thing. We first started out with a piece of this Z flashing. Remember, we had this custom made a long time ago when we were putting up the band board and the windows. So we got that covering the top of our beam, and we got it zip taped to our zip. Very first piece is the same piece of hardy we used for our corner board. Just gonna fill in this little gapper right there. Next piece, where did it go? We got another piece of hardy. This is what we use for the boards downstairs on our board and batten siding. This little guy is gonna go right there. Kind of get the picture, right? Now I got this guy, a piece of AZEK, 3/4, 7 1/4, and we put a little rabbet on the back. And that little rabbet's gonna hook over our hardy so we're watertight. All right, something like that. And now we got this little special guy. It's gonna create a bird box right there. I think that looks good. The only thing that kind of bugs me about it as a finish carpenter is the fact that the beam is proud of this. Ideally, I would have wanted our fascia past it like that, but now we have a big gap here. I could fill that, but the problem is up here with our roofer step flashing. I couldn't come out anymore. It's gonna mess them all up. So that's what we're gonna do. That's the plan. So we're gonna take all these down and pre-paint them because it's gonna be really difficult to paint in here without getting it all over our flashing. We're gonna leave that the bronze color. It kind of picks up on our railing and our lights and our window trim. Let's bring all these downstairs, give them a couple of coats of paint, grab some lunch. We'll come back upstairs, put all these on, see how it looks. All right, guys, remember 4 pieces to trim out this whole side. Here's the first one, a little piece of hardy trim, same thickness as our corner boards. We're gonna put it in with some stainless steel nails. Second piece, a piece of our hardy board that we use for our board and batten. I'm going to put the nail high so the rabbet covers it. Third piece, a rabbeted piece of AZEK. Fourth piece, got a little big stretch on the top. We're just going to nail it on with some stainless steel nails. Nice. All right, guys, one final step. Well, we're gonna paint it, but one more step. We're gonna cut this off. That's kind of been our theme for this whole build. Remember, we left these long right here. We always leave everything long and trim it once everything is in place. Much easier to do that way, in our opinion. Gonna grab my buzz saw, as we affectionately call it. I'm gonna trim most of that off with the buzz saw. That's a pretty good pass for a router, even if it is AZEK. So trim it off mostly with this, trim it with the router. All right, came out really great. Love the way it looks. So Raz's gonna give that a second coat. Jordan and I are gonna hop down on the deck, put in those LEDs under our handrail. Let's hop down there and get to it. Here's the drill on our LED lights. I already got my hole drilled here and at the far end. Started off with a smaller bit, like 3/16, because that's way too big of a bit. That's our final size. It's 25/64. That's for our LED lights. Your mileage may vary. First thing I got to do, put in the 2 wires, one with a male end, one with a female end. Gently pull them through so we don't skin the insulation. And then this part's a little tricky. I got to get this grommet in that hole. I'm just going to work on it, Jordan. You catch what you can with the camera. Actually, this one's going really well. I can tell already. And I've got my little, one of my favorite little tools. You guys seen it before, a little 1/8" Klein. We're just going to do a little tuck right there all around the edge, being careful not to poke through it. Okay, I'm in, but I know I'm not in on the other side. I'm going to flip it over and you can see. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get the point of the screwdriver and work this side and get that other side of the grommet popped out. All right, there we go. Got the grommet all installed on both sides. I'm going to flip this back over. And this needs a little help getting in that grommet. You could use dish soap. I'm just going to wet it with some saliva. Oop. I didn't do that. I don't know. The other one wasn't like that. All right, get it started. And what you don't want it to do is push the grommet through. So you just got to be real careful. A little wiggle, back and forth, almost home, boom. All right, got to do that 6 more times. Got all 8 of our LEDs in the bottom part of the rail. Now we just have to hook them together. They send us these cables. They have a male and a female end, just like the LEDs. So what we're doing, we always have the male end pointed towards the hub. I'm going to hook them together. They're tight because it's water resistant, right? Just like that. And now this end, I'm going to push through the column into our next section. Let's see if we go. Nice. All right, bud, I'm going to hop in front of you and we're going to pull this through. There we go. All right, and we just keep going. Our next step, we got to drill a hole for this column. We drilled lots of holes, so we're going to do that. We're going to see you down here at the hub and get these things powered on. All right, got in our little secret access panel, pulled out the cable that comes from the lights we just wired up, plugged it into the transformer. We don't have power up here yet, so Rad's just going to plug it into the extension cord. First time, let's see if they come on. We got lights?
Yeah.
Yeah!
Whoa!
All right, check them all. Oh, I can see this one. I can see it shining on the railing. Nice. Check them all, Rad.
Good.
All right, guys, that's what it looks like from the backyard. Almost 100% complete on the exterior of the building. All that's left for us is the easy ceiling downstairs, a little bit of tongue and groove. We got that covered. But look how awesome it looks. Look at the fascia upstairs and the corner of the, or the edge of the deck roof that we did this morning. Look how great the Envision decking and the railing looks. Really love the LED lights. Rad is over there in the corner putting the final screws in the railing. So excited to see that all done. From now on, we're going to be inside where it's a lot cooler because we are roasting here outside in this June heat here in Texas. So gang, that's going to be a wrap on the video. Frame out your like button with some awesome tongue and groove pine. Stain it to the color of your choice. Smash it for us. Please subscribe to our channel. If you're not a subscriber already, it means the world to us. Ask a question, drop a comment. Guys, if you're looking for some Stud Pack merch, head on over to bunkerbranding.com. We'll see you right back here on our very next Stud Pack video.